Si usas la frase persona precavida vale por dos, the Colgate Total Active Prevention System is for you. Con una pasta dental reformulada, un cepillo de dientes innovador y un enjuague bucal antibacterial diseñados para trabajar juntos y ser 15 veces más eficaces al reducir el crecimiento de bacterias in just 6 weeks, starting from week 1. Compared to a non-antibacterial fluoride toothpaste and flat trim toothbrush, helping you prevent oral health problems like cavities and gingivitis before they start. Cómpralo en shop.colgate.com/total and be dentist ready.
The clock's running out on December deal drops at Lowe's, but there's still time to wrap up something they'll love. Shop great gifts under $50, like the DeWalt Elite Series 100-piece bit set. Plus, if you order by 2 p.m., you get same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Shop December deal drops while you can. Lowe's. We help, you save.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily. How do we know we are in a committed relationship? By Alysha Jeney of modernlovecounseling.com. I've noticed throughout my work with couples that one thing seems to pop up and cause tension, conflict, and/or disconnection between partners. This lurking dark cloud that slowly creeps into session that I speak of generally involves sensitivities around commitment. So then, what signifies a committed relationship, you may ask? It doesn't matter if they've been married for 25 years or have just simply started dating. Couples often report feeling an imbalance of commitment within their relationship, which is usually based on an absence of a label, event, or a feeling. As you can imagine, this can cause some insecurities and some resentments, and even in some cases, separation. Specifically, as a millennial generation, we are generally waiting longer than any other generation to settle down and get married, have children, dive into the ultimate level of perceived commitment with a partner of our choice. We want to focus on our independence, our passions and dreams first. We want to be the best that we can so that we can have the best committed relationship in future, right? We may have certain goals and expectations for the future, but we tend to get mixed up when we get into a committed relationship that has gray boundaries, or assumed agreements on the future, or our current relationship's security. This sense of independence we strive for, although extremely empowering, also has huge impacts on how open we are with each other, and how uncomfortable we tend to naturally be at relying on one another. I sort of generalize it like this. It's as if we have our lives mostly together, but are expected to have all of it, and we subconsciously hide that small piece of us that feels scared, lost, and afraid in order to find a match. We then establish a relationship with a partner who is interested in this person that we portray as without having any issues. But then, in order to eventually get closer, we can find ourselves needing a higher level of commitment in order to fully feel secure in figuring out and exposing the other parts of us that we know are there, but definitely can't advertise on our Tinder profiles. This can get very complicated, and it could possibly build our relationship on deep insecurities and a shaky foundation right off the bat. We then can become so focused on needing a higher level of commitment, like a label, event, making of plans, etc., that we don't realize we push away any opportunity to actually tend to building intimacy and vulnerability naturally, which is required to sustain any authentic commitment in the first place. It's as if we feel these events will fill all voids and worries that exist within ourselves, thus creating the perceived natural safety that comes with knowing your partner isn't going anywhere. The biggest question is, how do we know we are in a committed relationship? Is it possible to feel secure without living together, without a ring or marriage, without a mutual home or investment or children, etc.? Do we need these things in order to allow our authentic selves to be exposed or to be accepting and secure in ourselves? My sense is this is what it really comes down to. Because I have seen this issue spark in all different couples at various stages of their relationships, i.e. they are experiencing a big rupture that has taken place, which has destroyed trust, or a couple being together for a few years with one person needing a proposal, where they threaten to abandon the entire relationship, I have noticed that many people aren't feeling secure in their relationships because they aren't aware of, or not wanting to work on, their own insecurities in the first place. This may sound harsh, but it's my belief that in order for a relationship to be fulfilling, passionate, safe, and secure, it's essential to have two people who are willing to be vulnerable and self-aware. This includes the other person in the relationship that is being perceived as less invested. They need to also dig deep within themselves to discover why these labels, events, and/or feelings may be causing discomfort. And it's important for them to also be honest with themselves, as well as with their partner in regards to their comfort, needs, and fears too. We all have our own attachment stuff come up from childhood and previous experiences and relationships, traumas, emotional insecurities, etc., that tend to affect our needs and fears. Our stuff that we bring into our relationships, knowingly or unknowingly, can cause a lot of emotion and sometimes reactions and behaviors that we aren't too proud of. We don't want to show this to our partner. We don't want to accept this about ourselves. We want to avoid, create a quick fix, and live happily ever after. The reality is, if we don't sit with these emotions and give ourselves the opportunity to understand why and how they are impacting ourselves and our relationships, then we will inevitably run into this problem eventually, whether it be this partner or another one. I have seen and personally experienced in my dating years the avoidance of icky emotions and the lack of self-acceptance manifest in all sorts of different ways that can cause even more conflict in the relationship. Then, sometimes, even after these committed events have taken place, we may still find ourselves feeling more insecure and confused because the security of our commitment didn't just magically appear or sustain. The reality is, we may never really feel secure in our committed relationship if we can't feel secure in exposing ourselves, flaws and all, and being accepting of them without these external events and labels taking place. When you can dive deep within yourself and expose your needs, insecurities, fears, and feelings, it's my belief that you will communicate non-reactively, thus more vulnerably and effectively. If your partner is safe, this will allow them to really hear you and not just react to your defenses and their perceived demands. This will actually allow the two of you to work as a team to solve issues and discomfort together, which will then foster intimacy and safety and security that you feel yourself craving. Unfortunately, no wedding ceremony, number of anniversaries, down payment on a home, etc., can do that for us authentically and long term. And to be clear, I'm definitely not saying that these events aren't representing commitment. But the point here is, if you feel you need a higher level of commitment in your relationship and are experiencing backlash from your partner, you may be digging in the wrong hole in an attempt to find it. So, we need to feel security and acceptance in who we are before any of these serious life events that are perceived as higher level of commitments can fully be appreciated and mutually respected. We need to water our own grass and tend to our own gardens before we can expect the flowers to grow. Finding security and acceptance in ourselves is the ultimate level of security, and this will only hold the necessary space for a mutually committed and fulfilling relationship to develop, grow, and sustain. You just listened to the post titled, "How Do We Know We Are in a Committed Relationship?" by Alysha Jeney of modernlovecounseling.com.
'Tis the season for identity theft. This time of year, most of us are checking off our holiday gift lists. But guess what? Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on them. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second and alerts you to threats you could miss by yourself, even if you keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. If your identity is stolen, your own US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. And all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. The last thing you want to do this holiday season is face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft all alone. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART. Or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
Here for Lowe's early Black Friday deals? Perfect timing. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus up to an extra 25% off when you bundle select appliances. Holiday lights going up soon? Select ladders are up to 50% off right now at Lowe's. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 11/19. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Visit your nearby Lowe's on Dulles Crossing Plaza in Sterling.
And a big thank you to Alysha for this post. Really, really important one too. You know, we definitely have a nasty habit of using life's landmarks to gauge our statuses or our commitments to things. And oftentimes this is done so that we don't have to deal with, the ambiguity of our feelings. But relying on these landmarks certainly makes for a hollowed existence, doesn't it? We are not just a list of descriptors. We're not just married or homeowners or whatever. We're in between the cracks. We are shades of many things. We're certain and we're uncertain. And all of that can be frightening, but until we sit with it all, we're letting events define us more than our true selves. I like how Alysha mentioned that we shouldn't vilify these things. They are important, and they're not the antitheses of feeling, but they should be byproducts of feelings that we're already in touch with. And I think that's the point. Hopefully no one got lost in this one. Yeah, it was a bit meta compared to what we're used to, both in the post and probably in the commentary, but sometimes it needs to be. Time to get going, everyone. So thank you for being here, and again, I hope you enjoyed this episode, even if it made you work your brain biceps a little bit more than usual. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.